Thanks, Kelly. So as Kelly said, I'm going to take you guys through the HR automation. For my presentation and actually the next two after me, we're all going to be in the same ECM software that we're looking at here on base. So I'm going to take just a quick minute to kind of give you guys a quick overview of what you're seeing on my screen, sort of the navigation, because you're going to see some common elements between my presentation and the next two. So in this ECM package, it's a Windows-based application, and you can see it's very familiar where we have sort of that Microsoft Office ribbon-style pane. I've got lots of different menu options up here, and for this presentation, I'm logged in as sort of an administrator, so I have access to a lot of different things. But what you'll notice is we try to set up the system not only from a indexing document retrieval standpoint, but also navigation to make you as efficient as possible. So all these colorful tiles that you see here, this is what mainly I'm going to be interacting with. All of these tiles, the options are up here in the menus, but sometimes I may have to do multiple clicks to get to a specific area in the system if I want to import a specific document type, where if there's something that I do consistently on a daily basis, I can add these tiles to my home screen here. And these are personal tiles. So everything that you see on my screen, another user would have totally different tiles. It's what they decide to put on there. So you can see I'll have some things here such as searching, which you'll see me use in a little bit. I've actually added a document that maybe I'm currently working on. I have an import tile to help me quickly import my documents, a dashboard, a report. So all of that information is right here, and it's just a single click away. Again, I want to be as efficient, automate these processes so I can just jump to that information that I need right away. One of the cool things with the tiles, besides having the ability to just really customize, add as many tiles as I want, I can rearrange them on the screen, and users can even change the colors of the tiles or the wording. Again, it's a personal tile. If you end up having lots of tiles, like I have here, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a quick filter. So if I wanted to maybe fill out a form quickly, I could just start typing form. And again, the system is going to make it easy for me. It's going to show me only those tiles that have that text that I typed in. So let's now look at sort of what I always refer to as the foundation of an ECM system. So with Karen and Kelly, they were talking about bringing in those legacy documents, the backfile documents, having our team scan, index, get those sometimes millions of documents ready and brought into a system. But what we want to look at is day forward. How can we make that easy? How can we ensure that we're getting all the information we need and it's searchable and retrievable? So I'm going to open up a document that's been brought in, and this is just a resume that was received. And you can see here is just the typical image viewer where I can view my document, I can scroll, I can zoom in and out. But one of the keys here is what we call keywords. Keywords are fields or metadata that help me identify this document. So when I opened up this keywords panel over here on the right-hand side, this in a lot of ways is the most important part of my ECM system. A lot of times if you're using a shared folder, you have a hard time locating documents because it depends on what did the person name the document, what folder did they store it on. Well, when you're storing it in an ECM system, you don't have to worry about that. You've got lots of different ways of searching for a document. You can add lots of different keywords. So we can see here for this document, I've classified it. This is a resume. And then I have some different keywords. So I can fill out the name, the resume ID, phone number, address, etc. All of these keywords allow me to search for this document. These keywords also allow me to name a document as it gets brought in the system. So you can see this document is named Resume for Ingrid Thomas because it took that keyword and said, great, I'm going to make this document name. When we do searches, it's going to allow us to search by these keywords, but also show us the keywords in our search results so that we ensure that we're finding the right document. So the keywords and classification is really key to having a successful ECM system. We want to make sure that we're capturing that information correctly. And what we'll do is I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways that we can bring in documents and how we can help either automate that or have other users assist us getting that information in. But since we're here in this document viewer, again, we're looking at a resume that's brought in. Let's look at a couple of the options that I have in my image viewer. The next icon is cross-reference. This is really helpful, and it can be sort of an automated process where if I have any related documents to this, they will show up over here. So you can see I received this resume. Well, at the same time, maybe we also received a cover letter from Ingrid. Well, here's her cover letter. So if I wanted to look at her cover letter, I don't have to close this document, go to my search screen, search for Ingrid Thomas, say, where's her cover letter? Again, I want efficiency. I'm looking at a document. I want to see any related documents. I simply click cross-reference, and here's a list of any related documents. They're all related based off of those keywords. So again, remember, that's sort of, I'll keep saying it, the key to getting all this information easily accessible. But I can quickly jump to any of those related documents, and as more documents come into the system for Ingrid Thomas, they would automatically show up in this cross-reference related section. A couple other quick items that I'll touch on is history. I always kind of joke with people sometimes when I open this up. It may look a little confusing, like there's a lot of information, and that's good. We want there to be a lot of information. This is my audit trail for my documents. So when we're talking about maybe secure documents like HR, we want to keep an audit trail of who's viewed these documents. So here you can see it would show me who the user is. I'm logged in as a generic HR user, but we'll see the username, the date and time, and what did they do? They viewed the document. Or here we added a keyword, so we updated a job code on this document. So you can get lots of information as users are interacting with this document. In this system, whenever I have a grid, I always have a blank row at the top, and this allows me to quickly filter down this list. So if I just wanted to see, well, who the heck added a job code to this document, I could come here and just type job, and you see it now filters down my history to show me that specific information. So if I needed to know who viewed, who deleted, if I've got a long list, it's really easy for me to just filter down that data to show me exactly what I'm looking for. With the document, we also have some standard functionality. I can email a copy of this document out. So of course, we're bringing in documents, we're scanning, but sometimes we do need to share this document with other people. So if I have the rights, I can go ahead and email a copy of this document to someone. Or if someone already has access to OnBase and I just want to send them a direct link to this document in our ECM system, I can choose that. So I'm not using up my email system, but I'm helping them so they don't have to search. I'm sending them a direct link to that document. I can also save a copy of this document to my computer if I needed to work on this document offline for some reason. And then of course, print if I have the security rights, I have the ability to print the document. And then we have the standard functionality for images. Sometimes when we bring in images ourselves, when we're scanning, maybe we didn't put it in the scanner, maybe we're using that multifunction machine that everyone shares, and I put the document in upside down. Well, of course, I can come in here and rotate the document. I can change it, no need to go back and rescan. All right, so that's sort of a document that's already been brought in the system, looking at the keywords, that sort of indexing the foundation so that now we can work with these documents. So let's look at a couple different ways that we can bring in a new document into the system. I'm going to probably show 3 or 4 different ways that we can bring a document in. Some of them have different levels of automation. But the first one is just a real simple importing of a document. So again, I've got my tile here, and when I click on this, it's going to open up a new window. It already classified the document as a resume because again, I set up that tile where I don't want to have to do extra steps. I want a tile if I'm importing a resume. I could have a tile if I'm importing I-9s. I could have a different tile for different doc types because again, I want single click access to most of my functionality. So when it brings up this screen, again, if I had a scanner attached, I could click the little scanner icon here and we could scan the document directly. Or if I've already scanned a document, I can click this browse button and I'm going to choose a resume that's already on my computer. The system will show me a preview. So here we can see it's a 2-page resume. And then it loads my keywords for this document type. So I can start filling in this information. Now, just to show, if I were to choose a different document type, will get different keywords. So again, it's completely customizable here to set the right keywords for your document type. And you can have completely different keywords based on the document type. But as a user, I could come in here and I could start typing in information and hit the tab key, go field to field. We want to make sure that we type all the information that's necessary so that someone else could retrieve this document. But if we have this information in another system, in an external system, we can do what's called an external keyword, autofill keyword set, where basically we're reaching out to another system and pulling over data so that I don't have to retype that information. So I'm going to simulate that here. I'm just going to type Sam Hastings. And what this is going to do is just reach out to an external system. And what you'll see when I hit tab, it automatically filled in his phone number, his address, his city, state, zip, et cetera, his email, because we already had that information. Maybe he filled out an online form, so there's another database that has that. Well, great. I don't want to have to retype information if we already have that information in another system. So using that external lookup lets me be extremely efficient and automate that keyword data entry. Once I filled out all my keywords, classified my document, I can go ahead and click import and bring in that document. So I'm not going to import it this way. I'm going to cancel out of here. And what we're going to do is look at a couple different ways that we can import Sam Hastings' resume that he sent us. Well, maybe Sam Hastings emailed that document to us. Well, great. He emailed us his resume. We could, if we wanted to, save that resume to our computer and then do the same process. Or if I'm using Outlook and I receive Sam Hastings' resume, which I have here, I don't even have to save that document to my computer. Why save it, do extra steps? I don't have to log into my ECM system and then click on that tile and go through that process. Right from my email in Outlook, you'll notice that I've got some icons here for the on-base system for my ECM system, where I can choose to import this document or just import the attachments. And what you'll notice when I click import, it's going to load over here on the right-hand side the tools that we're seeing directly in OnBase, where I can come through and I can classify my document type. So I can say, what type of document is this? Now, right now we're looking at the message, the email. Well, maybe I don't care about the email. I don't want to store that. So I'm going to hit skip. And now this is showing us, all right, this is the attachment. It's Sam's resume. So as soon as I classify this document, I'm going to say it's resume. My keywords get loaded here. So right from Outlook, I can save documents, and I can choose to save, again, the email and the attachments, and they would be cross-referenced. So they're going to be related and easily matched up automatically for me based off the keywords. Or I could say, I don't need the email. I just want the attachment. And guess what? Even though I'm in OnBase or in Outlook, I can still do those external lookups. So I'm going to type Sam Hastings, hit tab, and all my information gets filled in because it looked it up in a PeopleSoft or another application for me. So again, right from Outlook, I can do that. Again, bring in another level of efficiency into the system. I click import, it brings it in. We're still not going to import Sam Hastings' resume though, because I'm going to show a final way we can do that. So I'm here in my web browser, and maybe I have on my website the different career opportunities listed and allowing people to apply for these jobs. So Sam is going to come on here. He's going to apply for the product tester. So there's a link to apply for this position on our website. And what you're going to see now is the system is going to load what we call a Unity form. This is just like a form you would see on a website where we can guide the user through filling out information. Basically, these are our keywords. So this applicant is going to do all that indexing for us when they click on that link. So they're going to be able to fill in the keywords. They're also going to be able to attach those other documents, and it'll automatically fill in the keywords for them. So again, this is making it efficient for us. We're making sure we're guiding the applicant, the person, through the correct document type, the indexing, and it's going to bring it all into the system in a nice, neat package for us. So the user would come in here and they would type in, their information. So I could choose Sam, Hastings, et cetera. For demo purposes, I'm just going to click this button to fill in the information for saving some time. And then you can see down here, we've got an option where Sam can attach his resume. So great, we're going to attach Sam's resume. Maybe does Sam have a cover letter? Sam can attach the cover letter. We can see we've got some additional tabs here where Sam can fill out some additional information, education, etc. Again, I'm not going to fill all these out. We can have drop downs though, where they can choose some stored values here. They can click add, remove. So again, we're guiding this person through filling out information, making sure we're capturing all the data that we want. We can require certain fields. So right now I just have first name, last name, but I could require any one of these fields. Here you can see upload resume, this is required. So we want to ensure that we're getting a resume or they can't submit this application. At this point, we're going to go ahead and submit this. So we're going to bring all this information that Sam filled out through the website, through a Unity form, and it's all going to come into our ECM system in a nice, neat package, everything tied together, and they will have done all the indexing for us. So let's look to see that document as it came in. So I'm going to come over and click on my searches here. I'm going to go to my applicant document search. You can see now I can search by name or employee ID, again, keywords. So we decide what keywords we want here to be able to search by. I'm going to do a blank search. I never recommend you do this with a live system, but because this is a demo system, I don't have that many documents. I want to do a blank search just to show you the flexibility in here. So we can see I now get a list of all my documents by document type. Again, we classified the documents. I have the employee ID keyword, the name keyword. I can sort by any one of these columns just by clicking on the column heading. I can come in here and I can start doing a quick search. If you remembered in my other grid, I said that first blank line, I can start typing. So there's Sam Hastings. So I can look at any of the documents in here quickly, filtering it down. Once I find a document I want to look at, I double click and it's going to open up that document. So the searching really is very useful, very efficient in here when you have the keywords. There's a lot of flexibility in here that you can do to find your documents. But again, we need to make sure that we classify them, we use the keywords, set that all up correctly from the get-go. I'm going to show a different type of search. So we're going to come in here. I'm now this time going to search for Sam Hastings. Whoops. I forgot the S at the end here. All right, let's just pull up all the documents. So once I find Sam Hastings file, I'm going to open it. And what you're going to see, this is a different way of showing us the file, the search results. So if you remember, here's the application that he filled out. Well, that form came into the system as a document. So now I can see that. You'll notice over here on the left-hand side, it's showing us all the related documents. So we have that cover letter that he brought in. So I can double click, I can view his cover letter. I can view his resume that he attached. And then the system automatically took all this information that he brought in and created this summary document for us. So I can see all of that right here. You'll notice that there's 3 documents here that are in red. Well, as part of our process that we've set up here, kind of automating maybe the interview hiring process, we want to make sure that we do an interview. Maybe there's an offer letter if this applicant is going on in the process, and then we have a checklist. Well, I can see those documents haven't been created yet. But as those documents get created as part of a workflow process, they would be all in here in my virtual folder for this applicant. And again, this was all kicked off just by that applicant filling out that information online. I didn't have to do anything else as the HR user. The applicant has created all these documents for me just by going to that form online and filling that out. So let's quickly look at a workflow process. So right here, I've got a tile for my workflow. I'm going to click on this, and this is my job applicant screening. We can see we have 3 job applicants that have come through, and Sam Hastings is in here. So I can always view that application that he filled in. I can still go to my related items and I can still look at his cover letter. Any other documents that he's included are all available for me here. And what we've done is we've created what we call ad hoc tasks. So these buttons up here perform an action. These are customizable. So we can set up these custom actions to follow our business process, our workflow. So maybe when we get an applicant, the first thing we want to do is review it. And then do we want to send it to our hiring manager? Does it need to go to multiple managers? Do we need to put this on hold? Maybe he didn't include all the information. Or do we just look at it and we say, yeah, this is not a match to skill set? Or are we just looking at this and saying, wow, this guy is great. I just want to hire him right now. So we can click hire. So I have the ability to review and make those decisions. Over here on the left, you can see there's different folders or queues. So what we'll see is as I take this document through the process, it can move through these different queues. So what I'm going to do is I'll give a couple quick examples. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, Sam Hastings looks good. I'm going to send him to the hiring manager review. So if you remember, we have 3 documents in the review queue. Hiring manager review only has 1 right now. When I click on this, you'll notice now we have 2 documents in our review queue, and Sam's document has gone over to the manager review queue. So now he's down here. I'm logged in as an administrator, so I have access to all these queues, but typically the hiring manager is only going to see people for maybe their department. So the documents would all automatically be filtered to only show them their documents. If I come back here, let's choose Andrew Lincoln here. We have another person that came in. I'm going to say no match skill set to show that we can do multiple actions. So when I click on this, the first thing I can do is have a task password protected. So we just want to make sure that a user puts in their password to ensure this is them, because they're maybe declining this person or maybe they're hiring. So we just want that extra level of security. Once I've done that, the system is going to ask me, why did we mark this as no match skill set, or why are we refusing this? So again, I can say did not meet skill requirements, submit this, and then it's going to ask me, do we want to notify them by email? So I can say yes, go ahead and send them an email. Again, the system is automatically going to send this applicant an email letting them know that they are not a match, that they're not going to be, we're not going to proceed with an interview process for them for this job. So that's really simple example of workflow, but you can get extremely complicated. There's lots of actions that are available. And one of the other cool things is if we come back here, I'm going to go in Outlook. We can see I had received an email for John Mallory. I'm going to open up this email. So again, I'm in Outlook. Well, maybe I'm not a person, I live in Outlook. Maybe I don't want to use another system. I'm used to just doing everything in Outlook. Great. There's a button here, Workflow Task Pane. I can click that, and you notice within Outlook, I have those ad hoc tasks. So I can do the same functionality without ever leaving Outlook. So again, we're receiving information in Outlook. I can review it in Outlook. I can make those decisions right from here, bringing that efficiency, me not having to switch back and forth between different systems. And finally, as we're bringing in all these documents, we're classifying, we're indexing, we're taking them through a workflow process. Well, maybe it would be handy to have some kind of reporting, an overview. So again, I'm going to do this through my web browser, but I could do this in the ECM application as well. I can open up a dashboard. So here we see a nice dashboard, and we just have multiple types of reports on here, giving me an overview of the documents and the workflow process that have come in. So we can see we've got a simple bar graph here where it's interactive. So I can hold my mouse over any of these to get specific information. I've got a grid here showing me all of the new hires that are in the system. I have a pie chart, and then I've got a quick filter here. So if I'm only looking for a specific department, you can see as I unclick these, it's automatically real-time filtering down this data for me. So I can really get that information that I need with a couple clicks. And then if any of this information, if I want to save it, I can click an icon next to that specific report. I can choose to export it to PDF, save it as an image, or even bring it into Excel if I want to do something with this data. So again, don't think of imaging system, an ECM system, as I'm just scanning documents, bringing them in, and then I'm searching and retrieving them later. There's a lot we can do with that data because we can add those keywords. We've got that metadata for it. We can have an approval process, a whole workflow process to take these documents through, and we have visibility as the documents are going through that entire process along with an audit trail for that. Right, so with that, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys from an HR perspective. So I don't know, Kelly, if there were any questions that came up during that.
No, there were no questions, but I want to reinforce with everyone, if you do have questions pertaining to this or other presentations, you can submit them here or submit them with a follow-up email, and there will be a follow-up email that comes to you. So please pose any questions that you might have, and I can follow up. And we will also be sending out links to these presentations so that you can review them later and share them with your associates.